In September 2021, a news story created buzz in China about a university art student named Yaki Zhou, impersonated a wealthy upper-class socialite, and successfully indulged in free meals and drinks at various upscale venues across Beijing for 21 days. She referred to this experience as a form of behavioral art and a social experiment, naming it as the instant ownership. While being caught to be a con artist is not uncommon, the reason for the widespread attention on Zhou's story is truly fascinating. Zhou was born in 1998 in a small town in southern China. Her parents ran a small business, and she had a younger brother. Zhou began studying art at a young age, and during high school, she moved to Beijing to prepare for the entrance exam for China's Central Fine Art Academy. She attended an artistic training studio ahead of the exam. It was in Beijing's famous Artist Village, which is the largest fine art community in China. Surprisingly, despite its artistic reputation, the place had a rundown and desolate environment. This experience made Zhou realize that pursuing an art career wasn't easy. Nevertheless, her passion for art ran deep within her. Later, Zhou successfully gained admission to the academy, which represents the pinnacle of art education in China. At the academy, Zhou chose to major in social art. After entering the university, she found that her fellow students came from vastly different family backgrounds. Some of her peers had enjoyed substantial family support from a young age, with access to funds and trusts. They would go abroad for study trips during summer and winter breaks, seemingly having a good time while receiving ample support for their artistic pursuits. However, there were also students who worked 12-hour shifts at fast food chains near the school every day. Zhou's family wasn't extremely well off, but she didn't have to worry about working odd jobs to make ends meet either. As her graduation approached, Zhou, like many trying to find their feet in Beijing, began to feel unsure about her future. She wondered whether she could survive in Beijing without a stable income or maintain a decent lifestyle. With this unusual idea in mind, Zhou decided to turn her graduation project into a bold social experiment. She aimed to experience 21 days of high-end living in Beijing without spending a dime. On May 1, 2021, Zhou started her creative project with just a mobile phone and a foldable tripod. First, Zhou worked on her outlook. She bought a fake Hermes Birkin 35 cm bag, which she believed would convey status and was big enough to hold her essentials. She also wore a fake diamond ring and 2 glittering fake necklaces. Her makeup kit was vital for her polished look, with an emphasis on red lips to give off an unattainable and aloof vibe. Zhou's first destination was the first-class VIP lounge at Beijing Airport. For this, she needed a boarding pass that would allow her to pass through airport security. But where could she get this pass? She found out that a gaming bar near her campus was hosting a comic event. Zhou asked the bar owner for work. In return, instead of payment, she only asked for 3 days' worth of food, accommodation and a low-cost plane ticket, which will help her get through security. The bar owner agreed. After the 3-day comic convention, the bar owner provided Zhou with a 190 yuan plane ticket and covered her commute to and back from the airport. On May 3rd, she arrived at Beijing Daxing Airport and took a shower in the parent room before entering the security. This marked her first shower in 3 days. After freshening up, Zhou spent the night at a chain restaurant. The next day, she used her plane ticket to pass through airport security. With a first-class boarding reminder card she had copied from a friend, she entered the VIP lounge seamlessly. There, they offered buffet meals all day, and Zhou made sure to eat well and save some for later. This way, she spent 4 days in the VIP lounge, eating during the day and sleeping on the red velvet couch at night. No one paid much attention to her as she pretended to wait for her flight in an inconspicuous corner, and she wasn't asked to leave. After leaving the VIP lounge, Zhou went to a Gucci store downstairs. She politely requested a branded shopping bag to hold the food she collected in the lounge. She convinced the sales assistant that she needed help because her things were scattered, and subtly hinted that she was a VIP lounge guest, suggesting her potential as a customer in the future. After her airport adventure, Zhou returned to the CBD where her school was located. Her next stop was IKEA, where she enjoyed free coffee and water, took a comfortable nap in the showroom beds, and freshened up in parent room again. In the parent room, a curious child asked their mom why there is a big girl in the room. The mother explained that when Mammy was pregnant with you, I would come here to rest too. This made Zoe feel a touch of both gratitude and guilt in her heart.
很感动的感觉，我就觉得明明是我在做很恶劣的事情，我这位母亲帮我找到了借口，帮我去解释，我当时就觉得非常的感动。
While IKEA's beds were comfortable, Zoe had to forego leisure because the store closed at night, leaving her only with daytime rest. At night, she frequented bars and 24-hour fast food chains. Once, she dozed off in a bar, sipping a free glass of water, staying there until 4 a.m. Zoe also posed as if she was waiting for friends at hot pot restaurants to snag some complimentary snacks and condiments. Some kind-hearted waitstaff, thinking she had been stood up, offered her sweet dumplings, crackers, and tomatoes. Over time, she became desensitized to shame, feeling like she had lost herself in the experiment. On one occasion, she even went to the extent of sleeping in hot pot restaurant, and surprisingly, the staff allowed her to stay, and made sure she stayed warm.
德文区有做美甲的地方，睡得很舒服。然后他可能睡着睡着，他就让我进去睡了。他说：“你在里面休息一会儿吧，等你朋友来了，你们再开火。”我就觉得我的妈呀，这太暖心。
As Zoe left the hot pot restaurant, the staff kindly said, "Goodbye, and please come again." This made her feel a bit embarrassed, and she silently promised herself that after the experiment, she would genuinely dine at this place again. Zoe decided to up the ante in her experiment by attempting to infiltrate an exclusive auction preview event typically attended by social elites. This particular event took place at a luxurious 5-star hotel in the heart of Beijing's most prestigious CBD. Her initial challenge was how to get to the venue. She tried using a dating app, but when she requested to meet in person for a ride to a hotel, people hesitated as they found it hard to believe, almost suspicious that a girl they had just connected with online was proposing a hotel meeting on their first date. Unable to secure a ride through the dating app and determined not to spend money, Zoe ended up walking the entire 20 kilometers journey to central Beijing. The trip took her 2 days. On the first night, she sought shelter at a temple, thinking she could get some hot porridge, but it turned out to be just an exterior for photos. Tired, she rested in a fast food restaurant. Zoe arrived at the hotel for the auction after a challenging 2-day walk. She had an invitation from a classmate's artist father and entered the venue confidently, wearing fake jewelry and carrying a counterfeit bag, with a Gucci-branded shopping bag filled with snacks. She hadn't showered for days, had a hole in her pocket, and a butter stain on her pants. But no one noticed the difference. She casually approached each auction counter, pretending to be interested in jewelry. The staff eagerly showed her expensive pieces like a jade bracelet worth over 600,000 yuan and a necklace worth over 9 million yuan. Zoe knew she might never afford them, but in that moment of trying these jewelries, she felt like she owned them. The high-end auction provided top-notch snacks and champagne. Zoe, after days without proper meal, indulged in foie gras snacks and white chocolate. An attentive staff member approached, inquiring about her snack preferences and offering more. Zoe felt a bit sweaty, but her fears were unfounded. After all, who could guess her true purpose amid her elegant appearance with a Hermes bag and an auction catalog in hand? At the auction, a security guard went out of his way to assist Zoe, offering her tea, coffee and snacks. Despite being told about her unmarried status, he asked for her WeChat and sent questions about her purchases and day. Zoe chose not to respond and kept social media private from this person.
因为我不想让他知道我在干嘛，我也怕伤他的心，毕竟他也付出了一些努力，达到他以为的富婆的一个微笑。
After the auction, Zoe became enchanted with the grand hotel lobby that spanned almost an acre. The opulent setting with music and flowers felt like an ideal place for her wandering lifestyle. As her experiment neared its end, Zoe's mindset had shifted significantly. She believed that with the right appearance, she could eat and drink lavishly. Adjacent to the hotel's pool was an upscale bathroom, and Zoe decided to luxuriate in a hot bath. Only hotel guests were allowed in, so she casually jotted down a room number, 811, and the name Liu Bei, a character from the famous Chinese novel masterpiece Romance of the Three Kingdoms. At night, Zoe slept on the comfortable couch in the hotel lobby. She had rehearsed in her mind numerous times what she would say if a staff member approached her and asked why she was lingering in the lobby. She planned to use the excuse, "My husband and his lover are having an affair here, and I came to catch them in the act." However, no one approached her throughout the entire night. On the morning of May 21st, while the staff weren't paying attention, Zoe sneaked into the hotel's buffet restaurant. There, she not only filled her stomach, but also stuffed her fake Hermes bag with food. While she was stuffing food into her bag, some elderly gentleman at a nearby table noticed her. Zoe didn't care at all and almost provocatively continued to stuff her bag right in front of them. On the last day of her challenge, May 21st, Zoe wanted to take a shower and head back to school. She tried the same trick at the hotel's bathroom next to the pool, but this time she was caught. When she used the fake name, the staff immediately noticed and told her they couldn't find her check-in information. Zoe remained unfazed and made up an excuse, saying she hadn't extended her room but had an important afternoon appointment and needed to freshen up. The staff hesitated but eventually allowed her to use the bathroom. Zoe's audacity paid off, and she once again enjoyed a free shower. Finally, Zoe got a ride from an art collector she met at the auction back to her university campus. When they arrived, she sensed that the person might ask her for her contact. Without giving them the chance, she quickly said her goodbyes and left.
Bye. 谢谢你送我。
The 21-day social experiment, starting from and returning to her university, concluded successfully. During these 21 days, Zoe slept in restaurants, stayed at IKEA, woke up in the middle of the night feeling cold, and even spent nights in hotel lobbies. Regardless of her behind-the-scenes struggles, in the eye of everyone, she remained an elegant and refined socialite when entering high-end venues. Zoe named her experiment the instant ownership, symbolizing that even without wealth, if you bear recognized brand or labels, you can instantly impress others. Life comprises countless successive moments like this. In June 2022, at the Central Academy of Fine Arts graduation exhibition, Zoe displayed the outcome of her 21 days of freeloading journey. On a screen at the exhibition, footages of her 21-day experiment were played in a loop. The display included the Gucci bag she acquired, the expired croissant, snacks from the hot pot restaurant and auction catalog from the auction event, among many other items. Initially, Zoe's instant ownership experiment didn't create much of a buzz. But a popular digital content creator who follows the Academy renamed Zoe's video and posted it on a popular Chinese video platform Bilibili. In a matter of days, the video had over 2 million views. This caught the attention of various major media outlets. Key elements of the story, such as a female university student, con artist, fake heiress, 5-star hotels, and high-end auction, captured the public's interest. Zoe granted interviews to prominent media outlets like The Paper, Legal Weekly, and the Chinese Financial and Economic News. She even trended on Weibo. In November 2022, she was invited to give a TED Talk. However, along with the attention came controversies. Zoe's work became popular, and some people said she had revealed the last veil, hiding the wealth gap and class divisions, drawing a parallel to a line from the movie Isabella that goes,
"If you don't have a Rolex, it is not that others look down on you, it is that people don't even see you." The most straightforward and effective rule in society has always been to honor clothes before the ones who wear them.
Some netizens also commented,
In fact, the success of this social experiment is quite sad. It precisely demonstrates that, in our society, at least in Beijing, it is highly symbol-driven. Once people identify the symbols on you, understand that you are playing the same game as them, they will treat you in a way that aligns with their recognition.
In consumerist culture, everyone is consuming their own position. Wear your clothing, appearance, and demeanor. These symbolic representations have become a form of personal credit. Some netizens also raised doubts about Zoe's fake heiress persona, suggesting that the key to her success in the experiment was the factors like her refined appearance and upbringing. One netizen pointed out that a girl from a rural background might have different results in the same situation. These arguments highlight the role of wealth and social background in the experiment's outcome. China Youth Daily commented that the biggest irony of the work is that those with excess resources can navigate the rules effortlessly, while those in need of resources are left bewildered. In response to the criticism, Zoe explained, "I'm not an heiress, but rather from a working class. The reason I appeared as a socialite in the video is purely the result of long-term preparation and psychological development." She also stated that many marketing accounts sensationalize the term socialite to gain attention, but the core of her work is not about the so-called true or false socialite. What she truly wants to explore is whether a very small number of people can use excess resources titled towards the wealthy, such as free snacks and beverages, comfortable lounges, and hotel lobby, bathing facilities to survive. In an interview with GQ magazine, Zoe mentioned that summarizing her action as simply posing as a socialite is one-sided. For this social experiment, she did a lot of research. First, she collected various information about getting free clothing, food, shelter, and transportation through the internet. She even joined a group called the Sanha Masters, which is a group of labor workers near the Sanha laborer market in Shenzhen, southern China. Afterwards, she followed many socialites on various social media platforms to learn how they take photos and style themselves. Carrying a Hermes bag was something she learned from them. She mentioned that, "You must carry a Hermes bag to be considered a socialite because it is hard to buy." Zoe also found out from a friend who worked as a talent agent that around 90% of the Hermes bags owned by influencers in their company were actually fake. So she bought a high-quality replica bag and added a 25 yuan teddy bear keychain to make it more age-appropriate for her. Zoe borrowed the money from her mother, and she planned every detail in her project beforehand. She gathered information about opportunities from her friends, teachers, and others. Zoe had a friend who was a real socialite, and that friend happened to have a habit of keeping boarding pass reminders. Zoe made a copy of a boarding pass reminder her friend had used, and successfully entered the first-class lounge at the airport. She mentioned that the reason she didn't include these details in her work was due to concerns about triggering copycat behavior. However, even though Zoe says so, many interview details still indicate that she comes from a relatively well-off background. The reason she knew that the wealthy class had a lot of excess resources was because when she was 18 and studying in Beijing, her mother called and wanted to buy her dad a watch for his 50th birthday. Zoe went to a luxury watch store in Beijing for her mother. It was during this visit that she noticed customers were offered pastries and candies as soon as they entered the store, even if they didn't make a purchase.
18年的时候，当时我爸是50岁，然后妈妈就委托我去帮他看一下表，就被服务的特别好。对，就当时觉得就是我1分钱也没有花，但是我喝饱了。
Regardless of whether Zoe's mother eventually bought a luxury watch as a birthday gift for her husband, the fact that she sent her daughter to browse a luxury watch store indicates that their family has the financial capability for such expenses. People familiar with the luxury market would know that buying a high-quality counterfeit A-grade Hermes bag, which is difficult for most people to distinguish from a genuine one, can still cost several thousand. For many who struggle to make ends meet, this would be considered a luxury in itself. It is possible that Zoe's instant ownership project is indeed more of a literary expression. As Professor Jiawei Zhang from the prestigious Tsinghua University has pointed out, for those who genuinely face hardship, society can feel like four walls, and they might find themselves without a way out, regardless of the direction they choose to go. Now, after the excitement has settled, Zoe has signed with an art gallery and officially become a young artist. Currently, she is working on an experimental art piece called High Pay for a Perfect Mother, where she hires a perfect mother at a daily wage of 3,000 yuan. From Zoe's previous speeches, it seems that her relationship with her parents is not particularly close, at least in her perspective. In her Money for Motherly Love ads, Zoe mentioned, "My mother never believes in me. My mother loves my dad the most, and she also loves my little brother. But, Mom, can you show that you love me the most in front of me?"
我是一个童年的母爱接受的并不充沛的人，因为我母爱上有缺失，所以我自卑，所以我忧郁。我甚至会很容易的被年长于我的女性控制。
Through this experiment, Zoe aims to explore the concept of motherly love and whether it can be bought with money. The reason Zoe's work has sparked discussions is that people with different backgrounds and perspectives can see different aspects in her work. Some see the materialism of the upper class, Others see Zoe's audacity, some see the disparities in class, and some even see the kindness of those who helped her during this experience. What is it that you see through her experiment? Please let us know in comments. That's all for today. We will see you in next story.